This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is really disturbing stuff. A subscriber by the name of Sebastian passed this along to me. I want to thank him for that. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff. It shows you the state of affairs in the United States of America, how morals have been flushed down the toilet, how the do-what-thou-wilt mindset is in effect, and people are openly allowed to get away with it, including teachers. Teachers who indoctrinate students with lies and deceit of fake world history inside of a school system that refuses to allow or acknowledge the existence of God, yet pushes the theory of evolution, which is one of the biggest jokes ever invented by the elites. But listen to this story and how sick it is. And these people didn't lose their jobs over it. Think about what some people get fired for in general, being late to work, maybe missing a day, maybe talking back to a coworker. These teachers were caught playing the game on camera called F, as in have sex with, marry, or kill, about teenage students in their classes. These are teachers who are responsible with molding and shaping their students, obviously with lies and propaganda, because that's what the school systems teach. Indoctrinating them with lies and a belief in evolution and all this other nonsense. But still, students technically look up, in a sense, to their teachers as authoritative figures. And we have teachers talking about fellow high school students, which can range from 14 years old, 15 years old, 13 years old. And the teachers are talking to one another about who they would like to have sex with, who they could marry, and then who they would murder. And guess what? The scariest part of it all is that they didn't lose their jobs. That's right. These teachers are still teaching. Now, some people are defending them, saying, well, after school, going out, having a few drinks, this is not acceptable behavior. If they were employees at the grocery store doing this, talking about other employees, it's not acceptable behavior. In any working environment, talking like this about anyone you work with, saying you'd like to F them, that's technically sexual harassment. They're talking about students who are underage, which would mean that they're talking about pedophilia, marrying ones, having sex with one, or murdering one, which is a threat. And somehow they have not lost their jobs. So let me tell you the story here. Several teachers were caught on camera discussing having sex with students, but have been allowed to keep their jobs. The 7-strong group of staff made up of women and men were recorded identifying those they would have sex with, marry, or kill while playing a game in a bar in Michigan. A school secretary has resigned, and 2 teachers have been given written warnings. Footage of the expletive-filled game played in Bangor, Michigan, was uploaded to YouTube after seemingly being filmed by a stunned customer. Furious parents have called for the people involved in the game to be fired. The 6-minute video showed school staff making explicit comments about students and describing which they would like to kill. I mean, isn't that a threat? Look how they're taking away free speech, even giving your opinions on news stories. We talk about that all the time, right? This channel, other channels, people who listen, they want to take away our free speech and give an opinion on something that's run through the news, whether we question it, and they just want to take our free speech away. Yet we have students who are responsible for quote-unquote educating children and teens, talking about murdering them or having sex with them or marrying them, and they're underage students. These are 30, 40-year-old people, 50-year-old people. It says police spoke to the workers identified in the video, but did not press charges. Yesterday, an angry crowd gathered outside a board meeting to discuss the matter. Amanda Rappel, the mother of a boy with special needs who was referenced in the video, said, I would like to see people being held accountable. There are some criminal charges being pressed. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But this is not okay. You got to go. Well, I mean, that's kind of a contradicting statement, but why would you not want to see them lose their job? I mean, I'm not for people losing their jobs unless it's really something necessary. This is pretty sick and irresponsible. Okay, if I was there and I was one of these teachers and I said, hey, we're going to go out to dinner or lunch and have a couple beers or something like that, I would not partake in that. I'd be like, I'm out of here. This is, this is disgusting. This is creepy. And, with technology these days, you think these people will be aware enough that maybe somebody is recording them, because you can't even go anywhere without somebody recording you, whether it's a camera at the end of the road or people walking around their phones all day FaceTiming. I mean, it's insane. It says the Bangor police chief, Tommy Simpson, said he did not see anything that charges could be issued for. He said there was a member of the school staff that filed a complaint because she felt threatened by the video, but parents are calling for the school board to be recalled as they are not satisfied with the outcome. I mean, yeah, you think? We're talking about people that are responsible with pretty much babysitting your teens during the day, right? I mean, when parents drop their kids off at school or the bus comes and picks them up, they're at school all day. Each teacher for each class is pretty much responsible for keeping an eye on, not just educating them with these false lies and false doctrines, which is a shame in itself, but they're the ones monitoring them and watching them and pretty much protecting them. They're responsible for them who are in their classroom. And they're talking about having sex with these underage children or murdering them. This is really disturbing stuff. But this is the state of affairs in our world. You'll go to jail for maybe not paying your taxes, or you'll go to jail for people get tickets for peeing in public, right? Somebody's like somewhere and they got to pee. They can't hold it. They got to pull over on the highway and pee in the side of the road. You get a ticket for that. You pay a fine of like $500. We have teachers talking about murdering students that they are responsible for watching and babysitting for how many months of the year? I mean, it's insane. This is the moral compass of the United States of America. Nobody cares. Of course, some of these parents are going to care because it's their kids. But there should be an outcry from parents across the country. Not just the parents of the kids who are who are involved they're talking about here. This is disgraceful. This is absolutely embarrassing. This is really a sign of the times in this country. It's what it is. It's what it is, because this is the do without wilt mindset. This is the Crawley mindset. This is do whatever you want. It's not a big deal. Oh, they're just talking at a local bar. Some teachers are at a bar having some beers. Give them a break. No one takes anything seriously, right? Depends on how they want to interpret it. If the media put this up in the mainstream and kept pushing it as evil, then maybe something would happen. But they can twist it and say, oh, well, they're just fooling around. What, you've never played that game at a bar before? That's what they'd say. People go, yeah, give them a break. They're just joking around. Because it's all mind control. They can take any story and twist it however they want. And like I said, they don't take anything serious. Nobody takes anything seriously anymore. It's the catch-22 of the world we live in. If somebody makes a threat about doing some bad activity and somebody calls the police and then nothing comes of it, the police are saying, oh, you're wasting our time. Come on. He said it jokingly, you're wasting our time. Or if the person does something and shoots someone or does something, they go, you should have called us. You're responsible for it. It's always a catch-22. They can flip any story how they want. So these teachers, this is just an absolute embarrassment. Hopefully these parents continue to fight this. I'm sorry, but, these teachers should lose their jobs over something like this. I'm not one to judge and say, listen, these people have families to feed and stuff like that, but you can't be responsible for watching children. Technically, you're threatening them, and you're also talking about pedophilia. I think in any other work environment, you'd be fired, let alone being a teacher and responsible for kids. Regular jobs, you can't walk around talking about which employees you want to have sex with. That's sexual harassment. You can lose your job and get sued immediately. We're talking about teachers talking about molesting young children. It's just unreal, the stuff that's going on in this world. Does anybody have any morals anymore? Everybody bashes God and they bash the Bible. It's so sad to see that nobody understands how perfect, if everybody followed the Ten Commandments, how amazing the world would be. If everybody followed God's law. But everybody's selfish. They do what they want. God's law was set up to protect us, to give us morals, to give us values. Instead, people are just following the satanic mindset of doing whatever they want, saying whatever they want. There are no rules. Everybody wants to go along with it because they don't have to be responsible for anything or held responsible, including teachers who apparently are allowed to say stuff like this in regards to children. It's insanity. The world continues really to go mad. I mean, I don't see how anybody could defend something like this and say that this is okay. I don't care if they're off duty and you're talking about underage students. You're talking about pedophilia and you're talking about murder, which technically is you're talking about threatening. Okay, if somebody said that about my children or my friend's children or anyone out there, think about putting yourself in that position. If a teacher of your child who was 12 or 13-year-old girl and a 40-year-old man says, oh, I guess I'd have sex with this girl or I'd murder her, I'd be at that teacher's front door pretty quick. Bada bing, bada boom. But sadly, you're not allowed to take things in your own hands anymore. So we rely on the police to do stuff and the school board to do something here. And what happens? Nothing. But if enough people continue to go against it, these people will have to do something. So hopefully people do. Because this is the world we live in. We're subjected to this kind of garbage, right? You put your kids in a school system, you think you could trust and rely on the teachers because everybody's automatically trusting, like I always say. They don't realize that these teachers are individuals. They're not above anyone else. It's like doctors, lawyers, everyone's like, oh, they're so wonderful. Half these people are sociopaths and murderers. But people go, well, because their job title, it's a teacher. We have to automatically respect and trust them. Yeah? How do you feel about that now? You don't know this person. You don't know their character. So that people talk about race war, and all this stuff. And oh, I don't like this person because the color of their skin, all this stuff they push through the media. And like I constantly say, you judge a person based on their character. And I'm not necessarily saying judge, but I mean, you decide if the person's a good person or not based on their character and their morals. And we have teachers out there doing stuff like this. And people are just scratching their head going, well, it's a school system. We put them in school. Shouldn't they be screened and trusted? No, they shouldn't. Parents should be watching their own kids, raising their own kids. Unfortunately, they set up a system where they want everybody to have their kids in the school system so they can indoctrinate them with lies. And that's why it's so hard to wake people up to what's going on, because they've gotten these lies beaten into their head from kindergarten until college. It's the same stuff every year. It's lie after lie, pointless information after pointless information. And then everybody's left screwed at the end. So again, this is teachers in Michigan, Bangor, Michigan, film playing Who Would I Have Sex With, Marry, or Kill, and are keeping their jobs. Yet people get fired in this country over the littlest of things. We're talking about people who are supposed to be responsible for watching kids, look after kids, and they're talking about whether they're joking or not. Okay, you're not joking when you're saying stuff like that because you're thinking about it's sick is what it is. And this is the stuff that the pedo elite get away with because nobody seems to care anymore about even the talk or the notion of pedophilia, let alone the notion of murdering another student, which is just sick. These people should be flat out disappointed in themselves. I know people make mistakes and deserve forgiveness, but this is just wrong in so many ways and sick. Give me a break, teachers. Thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.